But more recently, great powers have begun using economic integration as weapons. Tariffs as leverage, financial infrastructure as coercion, supply chains as vulnerabilities to be exploited. You cannot live within the lie of mutual benefit through integration when integration becomes the source of your subordination. Thank you very much.
Just days after a fiery speech at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Canada's Prime Minister Mark Carney is making global headlines, not just for what he said, but for who he said it against. United States, and more specifically, Donald Trump. Mark Carney is not a typical politician. He's a former central banker, the only person to ever lead both the Bank of Canada and the Bank of England. For years, he operated behind the scenes of global finance. Now, he's at the very center of global politics. And Carney's message is clear. The world order as we knew it is over. At Davos, Carney declared that the so-called rules-based international order is facing a rupture, and in his words, it is not coming back. Without naming Trump directly, Carney pointed to American hegemony, arguing that great powers have weaponized trade, supply chains, and economic dependence for their own advantage.
Great powers have begun using economic integration as weapons. Tariffs as leverage, financial infrastructure as coercion, supply chains as vulnerabilities to be exploited.
For decades, countries like Canada relied heavily on the U.S. That era, Carney says, is now a vulnerability. And that's where the tension begins. Donald Trump didn't take the message lightly. At a cabinet meeting, he shot back, claiming Canada lives because of the U.S. Carney responded swiftly and sharply. Standing in Quebec City, he said Canada does not live because of America. Canada thrives because it is Canadian. This clash isn't just rhetorical. It's political, it's economic, and it's deeply personal. Trump has repeatedly floated the idea of Canada becoming the 51st U.S. state in private calls and public remarks. Carney's response has been unwavering. Canada is not for sale, and that will not change. Trade has become the next battlefield. Trump has threatened massive tariffs, from cars to goods tied to Canada's growing trade relationship with China. At one point, he even warned of 100% tariffs if Canada moved forward with new deals. Carney's strategy? Calculated resistance. He matched U.S. tariffs on Chinese electric vehicles to protect North American industries, while simultaneously pushing to diversify Canada's trade partners. He's urging Canadians to buy Canadian, framing it as economic self-defense, not nationalism. In a widely shared video, Carney laid out his vision for Canada to become the most self-reliant and resilient economy in the world. Less dependence, more domestic strength, advanced technology, energy security, and a stronger defense posture, including increased Arctic investment. This is where Carney truly diverges from Trump. Trump leads with pressure, tariffs, threats, and public provocation. Carney leads with institutions, alliances, and long-term planning. He's calling on middle powers, countries like Canada, to band together, resist economic coercion, and navigate a world no longer dominated by a single superpower. Under Carney, Canada isn't breaking ties with the U.S., but it is stepping out of America's shadow. And in a world of rising great power rivalry, that shift could redefine not just Canada's future, but the balance of global influence itself.
Subscribe to One India and never miss an update. Download the One India app now.